Good morning from Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a nice crisp 6 o'clock. The sun hasn't risen yet. We've got the snow-capped mountains behind us, and we are about to depart the Jacobson household en route to the airport first to drop Shane off. He's going to fly back to Arizona, and then the rest of us are going to be heading to Boston. So travel day ahead of us. Should be fun, and I'm going to try to get some sleep on the plane because I didn't get much last night. Well, here we go, guys. Time to leave the snow-capped Rocky Mountains behind us and head to, well, basically the complete opposite side of the country. Boston, here we come.
Welcome you to Boston. For your continued comfort and safety, please remain seated. Leave your carry-on items stowed. Your seatbelt securely fastened.
The whole contingent of the Utah Airguns team met up in the arrivals hall, including the Welches who had jetted out from California, and we did not head straight to our hotel in New Hampshire. Oh no, we had something else we needed to do first.
How come they get to turn right? We're parked. We're trying to turn right, and we can't get out of here. See the problem over here? The street is in the air because we're waiting for ships and stuff. We're in a parking lot. We're trying to get to Red Sox. I mean, the parking lot. What do we do? I mean, what do you do here? You know, you can't jump the bridge. It's moving. Can't go over it. Can't go under it unless you're in a ship with no smoking signs on it.
What's going on over here?
What's going on over here?
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed seeing what was a completely different side of the United States. Old English architecture, face brick walls, and eventually the iconic Fenway Park, where we'd be watching a Red Sox game to cap off another great day.
Hey, we're going across the Fenway. Hey, cross the road there, sweetheart. Hurry up. Yeah, it's a crosswalk. All right. It ain't no... You know, the rules ain't any different over here.
I've never really been a big baseball fan, but being able to watch a game in a place with so much history is what really made this experience special, and it's something I'll always remember fondly.
Yeah!
Well, good morning from Exeter, New Hampshire. Yeah, I can see why they call this New England. It not only looks like England, but all the town names are all named after English town names. It feels kind of weird. But yeah, great to be in this part of the country, and I think we're going to have a good day today. Yesterday was our travel day. The day before was our preparation day, but you know, we just got to assemble the guns and get them to the basic velocities. We didn't do any trajectory validation or long-range accuracy tests or anything like that. So yeah, today that's the goal. We're going to be heading to the range a bit later and just seeing what we can do. We've got all the guys together, so you know, we're going to feed off each other's energy, and yeah, I've really been enjoying hanging out with the Utah Airguns guys. They're just such genuine, solid people, brilliant shooters also, but you know, more importantly, just good people. So yeah, let's head out, have some breakfast, get some coffee in the system, and see what we can do today.
America, baby.
So both songs pass.
Thanks, man.
Now the party's starting. We've just pulled into the pretty cool 6 Hour Experience Center, and yeah, everyone's just rocked up here, as you can see. So it's handshakes and hugs all around. Haven't seen these guys for, you know, just under a year. There's some new faces here too from this New England area. So yeah, it's what I come out here for. It's not just the shooting, it's about hanging out with people and making those connections, and yeah, it's good to be out here. And here's Norm. With registration done and dusted, we made our way to the range to try and finally get a good zero on both my bench and PRS setups. The range was super busy, so this didn't prove easy, but eventually I managed to get it sorted. So we've just had a pretty good sort of range day / sight-in day. It was a bit slow at first, just had targets at 100 yards and couldn't really validate drop for the Pantera, but eventually got the chance to put some boxes up at different distances and let some lead fly and just figure it all out. So I'm feeling pretty happy. Tomorrow we've got bench, which, as I say, bench is very straightforward. You can, if you wanted to, you could set up your bench gun like after the hooter starts for your relay. So yeah, bench tomorrow should be fun, and then the big one for me is the day after that. I think that's what I really enjoy the most. But yeah, 100-yard range behind us, guys are still hanging out here, but man, this is a really cool venue, and I think we're in for a blast for the next few days.
Hold on a second. I really wish
Let me do a burnout
I
real
really
quick.
wish I felt better than this. No, we're not going to the end. Neither one of us.
Who are we going to?
That's a non-complete.
Gentlemen, do you understand the course of runway? On your marks, get set, go!
48 years old.
Easiest $100 I've ever made.
What do you do? You know?
That was a good effort.
Sometimes the lion
This is my boy.
has to show the jackals who's in charge.
The next day I got my competition off to a start by throwing myself in the deep end. I found myself in relay 1 for Benchrest, so I was basically first on the line to shoot, and when I sat down I realized that I still didn't know what my velocity was. No jokes, I had literally just taken pellets out the tin and trusted the factory settings. You can never really tell how well you've shot until the relay is over and you can compare your card to the others in your relay. I felt that I'd shot a good card, but with so many good shooters in this event, that doesn't really mean much. So here we go, the long walk down to the target boards. I think I did alright, but it's very hard to tell looking at some of those holes that go right between two lines. You don't know whether it's going to score up or score down. But yeah, I think it went okay, considering I had 0 time to set up the gun. So let's go check it out. In the end, I was actually really happy with my card. The wind was pretty tricky and very unpredictable, and a lot of shooters really struggled. This was my card from Relay 1. It ended up scoring as a 229 7x, which was the second highest score of the day. So I was very happy. With my relay done and dusted, I could relax and watch everyone else shoot. Once again, it was really interesting to see the different strategies on display. Nikolai, who ended up with the highest score, chose to single load and watch his flags, whereas my approach was the complete opposite, shooting fast and relying only on my sighted targets. Both strategies seem to work, so I don't think there's really a right or wrong way to do it. But there's only so much bench rest that one can handle before it gets too boring. So time for something fresh and new, the Squatchbomb challenge. So this Squatchbomb challenge is actually really cool. This is the kind of shooting that I enjoy. Essentially how it works is that we've got 3 Sasquatch steel targets out there at 200 yards, 250 yards and 300 yards. You get 8 shots. You have to hit the first target to engage the rest. And on the on the 250 and 300 yard targets there's Firebird targets. So if you can get onto the third target after hitting the first 2 first round hits, then you've got more shots in the last round to try and hit that Firebird. So no one's hit that Firebird yet at 300. I'm sure, we've got quite a few shooters left, so someone might get it, but yeah, it's really awesome. For me, it gives me an opportunity to check my dope, my elevation at that distance. So I've been using the Element Ballistics app that we're developing and comparing it to like what my Kestrel and other ballistic apps are giving me just to validate it, and so far it's been absolutely spot on. Being a new event, none of us really knew how the Squatchbomb was going to go, but it quickly became clear that this was going to be a favorite for many.
Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed.
Fast.
What made it such a great spectator sport was that only one shooter shot at a time, which gave everyone else an opportunity to watch and wait for that boom. With so many good shooters on the line, anyone could have hit that 300-yard Firebird target, but in the end, after all the macho men had tried their best, it was Lexi Linda who stepped forward and showed the boys who's boss. I managed to hit steel at every distance, albeit not hitting the one that mattered, which was the Firebird. But after the event had finished, a few of us had some fun trying to hit the 300-yard steel plate while standing. I'm proud to say that I managed to hit it 4 times in a row. But more importantly, I was able to validate the firing solutions that the Element Ballistics app was giving me, which gave me so much peace of mind going into the precision rifle the next day.
There's a car on a car.
First the street's in the air, and now a car's on a car.
Don't forget it. Don't forget it.
We'd been invited to a barbecue with the crew from NorthEast Airguns out at a beautiful house in the woods. And these guys know the way to my heart. I could smell the meat from the moment I arrived. Apparently this part of the country is known for eating steak tips. The question I wanted to ask is, why just the tips? Why not the whole steak? But I tell you what, this was delicious. I could eat this every day. It ended up being a great evening, and we went home in high spirits with full stomachs.
What's everybody anticipating?
Good morning once again from the NorthEast Airgun Classic. Today is Saturday, which means we're going to get started with shooting Relay 2 for bench, and it's looking very interesting out there. Yesterday I shot right at the beginning of the day, so the wind was slightly calmer for my relay, and I managed to put in a really good score. I was second highest score overall, but that means absolutely nothing today because it may not feel like the wind's doing a lot, but I've just walked down there to watch some of the cards that have been shot, and it is, I mean, people are struggling to even hit their targets at all anyway. It looks very rough. So I think what's happening is some of these berms around here, and even the roof of this target of the seating bench area behind me here. The moment the wind switches, you get all kinds of swirling winds coming off everywhere, and it's super unpredictable. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe as the wind picks up today, I'm only shooting at 11 o'clock, that it will become a little bit more consistent also and stop swirling around. But you never know. I really do believe that my high score yesterday means nothing in the context of today. If I shoot bad and a bunch of people shoot much better than me, then I lose my spot. So yeah, that's why I never take bench like too seriously. You just never know. But let's go out there, let's have fun. After bench, we're straight into precision rifle, which I'm probably looking forward to the most. Because I was only going to be shooting the last relay of the day, I had the chance to watch everyone else shoot first. Always a bit stressful when you can see the wind destroying everyone's hopes and dreams, but I fought really hard and ended up shooting another really good card. Well, just shot my second card. It went better than I expected. Conditions this morning have been pretty rough. You don't feel it here because this wind is coming over the berm. You only feel it a few meters that way. But yeah, everything went well, shot a good card, so hopefully that means I'm into the finals. We'll see. With the exception of a couple shots that got away from me, I felt that my gun was really predictable, and I ended up with the highest score in my relay again, 222 3x. This gave me the second highest combined score of 451, behind Nikolai Boldov, who scored 454. With the bench off my mind, all of my attention now immediately turned to the Precision Marksman Challenge, which I knew was going to be an absolute blast. The course of fire was really cool, with 12 stages and targets all the way out to 180 yards. What's always fun about the PRS matches is that they can be personalized for each event, and this one had a very strong New England vibe with lobster traps as obstacles and stuff like that. This would be my first time using the Panthera in competition, and although it took a little bit of getting used to, I caught on really fast, and in no time it felt like part of my body. I didn't get a ton of practice shooting matches in the wind, so I tend to rely quite heavily on the high BC of my 40 grain slugs to give me the edge. On this day, with the wind relatively calm, I didn't quite feel as aided by the heavy slugs as I felt at RMAC last year when everyone else was really struggling. I also made some really stupid mistakes, and I felt that I rushed some of my standing and kneeling shots a bit, timing my trigger pulls really poorly.
Damn it!
Time?
All in all though, I had a lot of fun and ended up taking 5th place overall. Justin Welch took a very well-deserved 1st place, with Boyd Linde in 2nd, newcomer Nikolai Boldov, who'd never shot PRS before, in 3rd, Dylan Whittier in 4th, and myself just behind Dylan. I'm just proud that the scope that I'd been working on for 3 years, the Element Theos, took 3 of the top 5 places. In that sense, I feel like a winner. But after a long day of shooting, it was time for bed. I needed to rest up before Benchrest finals the next morning. We made it to finals day here at the NorthEast Airgun Classic, and I woke up to good news this morning. I am in the finals. I actually topped my heat, my relay on qualifying card 1 and qualifying card 2, which I'm really stoked about. And I got the 2nd highest score overall. But to be honest, my goal was just to make it to the finals. It doesn't matter how well you do in qualifying. Finals is the big reset. If you just make it into the finals, it's anyone's game. If you get in a specific lane that has slightly better wind, or you just happen to time it better, yeah, you're in with a really good shot. So looks like the weather's a little bit rougher today. We've got a bit of rain coming in. Probably have some slightly more challenging wind conditions, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, looking forward to getting out there and shooting. PRS also went well yesterday, although I never counted my score, so it's very hard to say where I am. I had one stage that I really struggled with for some reason, and that probably took me out of contention for top 3. I think if I'd done well in that one stage, I would be somewhere up there with the top guys, but I think it's more likely that I'm a little bit further down the field. But either way, my first time shooting the Pantera in competition, and it went well. There's a few small things that I've got to get used to changes-wise when compared to the Impact, but by and large, I think it is the better gun for this discipline. So I'll get used to it over time, and it'll become my preferred gun for PRS style shooting. But for now, let's head downstairs, let's get some breakfast in the system, some coffee, and then slowly make our way down to the range, and let's get this done. Breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions. French toast.
It very quickly became clear that this was not going to be your average day of shooting. The rain was bucketing down, it was freezing cold, and when we arrived at the range, there were literally rivers flowing off the roof and down the road. Before we knew it, we were picking our benches and getting ready to let the lead fly.
Caliber?
30.
What ammo?
JSB.
Mr. Duggar, step forward. Only one.
7.
Bench number 7. Bench number 7.
The finals came and went in a blur, and with my heart still pumping, we made the long walk up to the targets to see what happened. Well, there you go. Just shot our finals card. I think I did all right, but there's so many decent cards here, so you never know. So the verdict is that I'm very happy with the way I shot, considering the class of shooters on this line this morning. I might be top 3. I think Kate might have just beaten me by like 1 point maybe. She got a lot of 10s and X's, so that obviously helped her a lot. She was sitting just to the right of me. And then Thane in lane 1, he also shot really well. So I think both of those guys, well, guy and girl, might have picked me, but man, you can't be bummed with a top 5 finish. So if I make it top 5, I'll be super happy. Who knows, maybe I'm not in the top 5, but that's kind of the feeling I get. So yeah, we'll see what happens. In the end, it was painfully close. Adam Miguel took first place with a score of 219, and places 2, 3, and 4 were all literally 1 point behind on 218, only separated by X count. That's me in 4th place. It's a little frustrating to know that I was only 1 point away from the podium and 2 points away from victory, but this is a game of tiny margins, and at the end of the day, I'm really happy to be in the top 5. With the shooting over, we all scurried over to the banquet, where a hot meal and a boatload of prizes awaited us.
There you get that $5,000 check going to Mr. Justin Wells.
Won't bore you with drawn out clips of the winners being announced, but it was a good competition for the ladies actually, with Kate Jacobson taking second for bench and Lexi Linda smashing the Squatchbomb. It was also really cool to see the generosity on display. Many of these shooters are lucky enough to be sponsored by gun and scope manufacturers, and when they were called up for winning something in the raffle, many of them ended up giving their prizes away. Keith and Norm of 68 Whiskey both gave element scopes away to young shooters, and Thane Simmons did the same.
Hey, real quick, got a lot of element scopes, love them, phenomenal scope company. We love shooters that are just starting into this sport, so I want to go ahead and give this to Nadia Rusnick.
Really proud of these guys, and one of the reasons that we actually accepted them to the Element Pro Staff program in the first place is that they're good people, not just good shooters. If you had any doubts about whether the NorthEast Classic could prove itself worthy, I'm here to tell you that it's here to stay. The organizers did a fantastic job, the event ran smoothly, and most importantly, everyone had fun. The sport keeps on growing, the Eastern US now has its own established event, and I will most definitely be back here again. For now, it's time to make the long trek back to South Africa and get some sleep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.